hips hurt, you're in pain every day. And when they don't hurt, you go, wow, this is what it feels like to feel normal. So being a general contractor in California, I have a B license, and I'm self-employed. So in other words, I did everything myself. I don't have a big company. So I would do the purchasing, I would do the bidding, I would meet the clients, I would get the merchandise, I would go to the job, and I put my belt on and I worked side by side with my subs and whoever worked with me that day. A lot of my clients were a little bit blown away because they said, we never see a contractor on the job. I'm a very active person. I grew up playing ice hockey. I used to hang glide. I was a competitive kickboxer. My store that I worked in most of my life was a 6-mile day every day. I'm walking on concrete. So I really need my hips to move around. I couldn't be the full person that I am unless I could walk. I grew up backpacking and hiking. I've been doing it my whole life. And my wife loves to hike. Our dog loves to hike. Over the past 4 or 5 years, I couldn't go on long hikes anymore. Mile and a half, my hip would start hurting me. And before I had the hip replacement, as much as I loved to hike and backpack, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't carry the extra weight. My hip hurt me too much. 10 years ago, when I had to have my first hip replaced, I went to see 2 other surgeons. One of them is very, very high on the scale of surgeons in California. He wanted to do a different approach. Dr. Mast does the anterior approach, and I was all for it because it wouldn't be disruptive. And as soon as I saw him, I talked to him, his bedside manner, his warmth, he was the guy, and he's the man. And that's what I'll tell anybody. That day I was going for pre-op with him, I really couldn't walk. I had one little sweet spot where I could walk. Otherwise, it was such excruciating pain, I almost fainted. Because it's an anterior approach surgery, I bounced back very fast. This is such a non-invasive surgery. After 10 days or so, I was feeling pretty good. Kick in 3 weeks, 4 weeks while I was driving. 6 months after the surgery, I went to the Olympic oval ice rink in Canada, in Calgary, where my daughter lives, and I put on speed skates because I grew up speed skating and playing hockey. And my daughter looked at me and my wife looked at me and they go, "You're not going to do that." I go, "Yes, I am." So I went to the Olympic oval ice rink in Calgary, Canada. This was 6 months after my hip surgery, and I skated. And I skated for a good hour. So 2 years ago, I retired. And now that I'm retired, my interests lie in my property that I built up myself. I have a collection of cars. I like to drive my sports cars, and I can drive out to West Marin. I'm very agile, which is something that I need to be. I can move. I have movement that I didn't have before. I ski. We grew up skiing. My daughter actually lives in Canada, and I go up every winter and I ski in Canada. You know what? Having new hips has created a whole new lease on life for me because I can ski, I can kickbox, I can walk, I can hike. Last year, after the surgery, I went to Spain and Portugal. Every day was a 6-mile day. 2 years before that, I was in Cinque Terre. The 5 cities in the mountains are very difficult to get to. Every day was a 5, 6, 7-mile day, and I feel fine. A year ago, we got into a College of Marin class called Meandering in Marin. My wife's been doing it for a couple years. We walk 5 miles every Thursday. We walk through all the open space in Mount Tam. We go up hills, we go down hills, we go through creeks. Since I've had this replacement, I walk 5 to 6 miles a day. I still do martial arts. I drive sports cars. I ski. And I do everything that I would like to do. I hike. I put in 3.5 to 5 miles every day. I have a puppy black lab that loves to go swimming, and I go in the pool with her, and I go hiking. The hip surgery has been revolutionary in my life. I do martial arts, I ski, I'm a retired contractor. I ride a bicycle. I used to ride a motocross bike, and I can sleep on both sides of my hips, which I couldn't do before. Quality of my life is superb. The hips are repaired and the healing process is done. I feel normal. I can cross my legs, I can sit however I want. I don't have to get up every 15 minutes because I get a cramp in my hip. My confidence level is much greater. I can do everything I used to do and then some. This is a surgery that a lot of people hesitate to do because they're afraid of the pain levels, but the pain level you experience every day is gone. Once the surgery is done, you have no pain anymore. It's something that people shouldn't hesitate on. It's nothing to ponder about. Dr. Mast and his team have incredible bedside manner. They make you feel comfortable. Dr. Mast had a centrifuge hooked up to me where he was pumping my own blood into a machine and pumping it back into me, which I was very impressed with back then too. He didn't believe in doing blood transfusions. Now, it's outpatient. You go home. And you know why? He understands people heal better when they're in their own environment. And that's where it's at. You need to be comfortable. You need to be home with your loved ones. Do not hesitate. Go get a first and second opinion, then go see Dr. Mast. Make the appointment, because when it's finished, you'll be very happy and you'll wonder, why did I wait so many months or years? High five to Dr. Mast.